Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. Welcome to a massive reality check, straight from today's Hustler's 10-minute-a-day challenge. Today, we're unpacking a hard truth from Markel. He points out that real success in the AI era, it is not going to just be handed to you. It takes a very real, tangible investment. We're going to break down why AI isn't actually here to replace people. It's here to massively reward those who step up and develop their communication, creative, and leadership skills. It's all about preparing for the future by becoming a true creator rather than just sitting back as a spectator.
So let me ask you this right out of the gate. Are you just chasing a dream, or are you actually investing in reality? Like, are you expecting a totally free ride, or are you willing to pay the price of admission with your time, your energy, and yeah, your money? Markel makes this awesome point that a lot of folks are just chasing dreams sold by people who can't even guarantee they'll come true. Real success demands a harsh reality check. If you aren't willing to invest in yourself, well, you don't really deserve the reward. It's tough love, but it's literally the foundation for building any lasting online business. Section 1. The AI disruption reality. 2.5 billion. That's billion with a B. That is the staggering amount Microsoft invested just to deploy AI engineers to its customers. The tech giants, they aren't playing small anymore. They see the vision. They know exactly where the future is headed, and they are putting serious money on the table right now to lock in their spot. They aren't waiting around to see what happens. They are literally buying up the infrastructure that will dictate what happens next. And you know, Markel always says, success leaves clues. It's honestly one of the most reliable rules of business out there. But here's where the huge disconnect happens. If the biggest, most powerful companies in the world are investing billions to adapt to AI, why on earth do so many individuals just sit back and expect their own personal success to come for free? We tend to ignore these massive, glaring clues because acknowledging them means we actually have to step up and put in the work. The difference between spectator expectation and creator reality perfectly illustrates this disconnect. You see the headlines, right? AI giants handing out free computing power to grab market share. The spectator sees that, gets way too comfortable, and just expects free tools and easy wins forever. But the creator knows the reality. Nothing is truly free. Someone, somewhere, always pays for it. If you want to step out of that spectator role and build something of real value, you have to be wildly intentional about investing your own resources.
Section 2. The owner versus consumer mindset.
To really wrap our heads around this, we have to look at this crazy story from Markel's commercial cleaning franchise from over 20 years ago. He had an employee who actually happened to be his cousin and gave him incredibly strict, direct instructions: do not use bleach in this specific building. Well, you can probably guess what happened. The instructions were completely ignored, a plastic bucket broke, industrial bleach spilled absolutely everywhere, and a very valuable client's carpet was ruined. A totally 100% avoidable disaster. What happened next perfectly highlights the mindset divide. The employee instantly deflected blame. In fact, his family literally told Mark Schickel, "Hey, you're the business owner, you should just pay for it." That is exactly how a consumer dodges accountability. But a true owner, they take ultimate responsibility. Mark Schickel had to eat that $500 hit out of pocket to replace those carpet panels. That is the heavy burden, but also the incredible power of being the giant. Owners pay the price, but at the end of the day, they own the asset.
The real problem is that most people are terrified to step into that owner role. They're stuck in this total cycle of insanity, just running on a hamster wheel, doing the exact same comfortable things day in and day out, but somehow expecting a free ride to success. They desperately want the rewards of the giant, but there's no way they're giving up that cozy safety net of being a consumer or an employee where they can just pass the blame to someone else. Section 3. The human skill premium. You guys have probably caught the headlines lately about Tilly Norwood. She's a fully virtual AI actor who just landed a starring role in a feature film called Misalign. She is not a real human being, but she is saving the studio potentially months of production time and millions of dollars. No complex travel, no massive crews, no physical sets to build. For a major studio, it's an absolute logistical dream come true. And predictably, actors in Hollywood are furious. You've got quotes like this one from Melissa Barrera calling it unethical, which really just shows a deep emotional fear of obsolescence. But honestly, a lot of people are reacting to AI the exact same way traditional bakers reacted to the invention of the home bread machine, calling it unethical just because it bypassed the old hand-kneaded way of doing things. It's a reaction entirely rooted in fear, not strategy. But this brings up a really provocative question for you. Are you going to be the spectator who just complains about humans being replaced? Or are you going to put on your creator hat and figure out how to build your very own AI Hollywood? Just imagine being able to write your own stories, generate your own virtual characters, and build a massive community around your vision, all without ever needing permission from the traditional gatekeepers. The potential here is literally limitless. Because the reality is, AI is just an incredibly powerful tool. It has this massive, superpowered brain, but it completely lacks a soul. Markel makes this great point when talking about music creation. AI can spit out a technically flawless performance, sure, but it requires you, the human, to inject your energy, your spirit, and your lived experiences into it to make people actually feel something. That soul, that is your ultimate competitive advantage. And here is the ultimate clue that success is leaving behind for us. Particle 6, the very company that created Tilly Norwood, isn't out there hiring other AI actors. They are actively hiring human directors, human writers, and human editors. This proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that the real premium in the AI era is on human communication, creative direction, and true leadership. AI is just the raw material. It absolutely needs human vision to guide it. So to actually thrive in this new landscape, you've got to step off that comfortable hamster wheel. First, you need to develop your ability to communicate your vision clearly, because frankly, AI desperately needs a director. Second, learn how to write for and prompt these tools effectively. If you build leverage as a creator who commands the technology, rather than an employee trying to compete with it, you become absolutely invaluable. Section 4, investing in your own reality. At the end of the day, you have a very distinct choice to make. You can be the spectator, the one who reads an article about AI actors, gets super emotionally triggered, and just retreats back into their safe zone. Or you can be the creator. The creator looks right past the sensationalism to extract the logical business-building value. They partner with the right mentors, they learn to spot real value, and they actively build systems that leverage these massive technological shifts to their advantage. I just absolutely love this tough love reality check from Markel. If you're expecting a free ride, I'll kick your ass right out of the passenger seat. True mentors, whether it's Markel or Wayne Crow and his specialized trainings, they demand that you actually show up and take action. They're not looking for passive seat fillers who just want free entertainment. They want dedicated partners willing to do the hard work and invest in a real mindset shift. You have to bring something to the table. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I'm gonna leave you with this final crucial thought. The biggest companies in the world are spending billions to secure their spot in the AI future. What are you spending to secure yours? Are you ready to become a creator, an owner, and a true director in the age of AI? Or are you gonna just stay on the sidelines, waiting for a free ride that is never, ever going to come? The choice and the investment is entirely yours.
They keep telling you, stay motivated. Watch this. Listen to that. Get inspired. But what happens when the video ends? When the music fades? When nobody's clapping, watching, or waiting for you to win? What moves you then? I used to run on borrowed energy, quotes, speeches, people hyping me. Yeah. Felt unstoppable for a moment, then I'd crash, like it was never in me. That's the problem with external fuel. It burn quick, don't last, don't rule. You dependent on a source outside, so when it disappears, so do you. I was chasing feelings, not building fire, waiting to feel ready instead of climbing higher. But readiness ain't a mood you catch, it's a discipline you wire. So I had to ask myself something different. If nobody ever told me keep going, would I answer that honestly? I realized purpose don't scream, it whispers. It ain't in the crowd, it's found in the mirror. It ain't in applause or validation checks. It's in what you do when there's nothing to flex. Yeah. Motivation temporary, purpose permanent. One phase away, the other's inherent. You don't wake up feeling it every day, but purpose don't care how you feel anyway. It moves through you even when you're tired, even when life feel misaligned and wired. It's that quiet push you can't explain. Let's say do it again through the doubt and pain. So I stopped asking how do I feel and started asking what's real, what's mine to build, what's mine to create. That's when I found something stronger than fate. I don't need a reason. I am the reason. I am the reason. I don't need the feeling. I don't need the feeling. I move with meaning. No more waiting. No more waiting. No more chasing. No more chasing. Internal driver. That's what's leading. Yeah. Now I move like it's already decided. No hesitation, no need to be guided. I built a system inside of my soul that don't break down when I'm losing control. External noise don't shake my direction. I learned to operate without the connection. Not disconnected but self-sustained. Energy internal, never drained. I don't need hype, I don't need cheers. I done built this through blood, sweat, tears. Every rep carved into my frame. Now discipline calling me by name. This is what it looked like when purpose drive. You ain't just working, you feel alive. Even in struggle there's something deeper. You not just moving, you moving with meaning. Listen close. Purpose don't shout, it pulls. It don't beg, it demands. And once you feel it, you can't go back. There's gonna be days you don't feel like it. Do it anyway. There's gonna be days you question everything. Keep going anyway. Because the ones who make it ain't the most motivated, they the most committed to something deeper than motivation. I don't need a reason. Don't need a reason. I am the reason. Am the reason. I don't need the feeling. Don't need the feeling. I move with meaning. Move with meaning. No more waiting. No more waiting. No more chasing. No more chasing. Internal driver. That's what's leading. When the world go quiet, when the noise disappear, when nobody's watching, that's when you find out if you really got it, or if you was just borrowing it. Borrowing.
If you have been watching people create AI influencers and product videos, but you still have no idea where to begin, let this be your sign to stop watching and create your first one. Here is the simple process. First, decide who your AI influencer is speaking to. Do not just create a pretty character. Give them a niche, personality, visual style, and a reason for people to pay attention. Second, choose a product to promote. It can be an affiliate offer, digital product, software tool, service, or even a fictional product you create for practice. Third, write a short 5-scene script. Start with the hook. Show the problem. Introduce the product. Explain the benefit. Then tell the viewer what to do next. Fourth, create the starting picture for every scene before generating the videos. This lets you approve the character, product, environment, and camera angle instead of generating random clips and hoping they match. Fifth, bring those pictures into Video Express, turn them into short video scenes, add your voiceover, include B-roll, and arrange everything on the timeline. That is how you go from one idea to a complete AI UGC promotion without filming yourself. I broke the entire process down inside my Hustleverse Movie Studio AI UGC blueprint. And I am also including my complete magnetic content creation training as a free bonus. So you can learn how to turn your ideas into content that attracts attention, builds trust, and promotes what you have to offer. Comment Hustle below, and I will send you access to both completely free.
I give you food for action, don't choke on the truth. This lesson I prepared was made just for you. Feast up, I'll keep serving till the pot run dry. Got enough cooking to feed the whole country, no lie. Too many flavors, you know, I got what you like. Don't start beefing with me, you won't win this fight. If you come in peace, keep your teeth intact. I got a plan to get this cake, come grab a stack. Life could be sweet, if you listen, you'll see. Food for action on a platter, served fresh by me. I'm serving knowledge on plates, got the recipe down. A blend of hustle and wisdom, that's my sound. I'm feeding the masses, no crumbs, full course. But if you bring nothing to the table, find the door. Stop acting like you got beef, it won't taste right. This flavor's reserved for those ready. Okay, family, we are live. We are live. And once again, I want to welcome you guys back to another episode of the Hustlers 10-Minute a Day Challenge. Today is Strong 59, day 3, and we are right at 17 minutes into today's challenge. So let's peel that curtain back and let's get started. Now, today, I'm not going to keep you guys too long. And the reason why I'm not going to keep you guys too long is because I've been thinking about 5 words. I've been thinking about 5 words that saved my life. Now, we all go through journeys, right? And we all go through situations where we can make a decision to go down one path, or we can make a decision to go down another path. And sometimes those decisions are pretty hard. They're hard to make because we believe that each path might lead us to the right results. You know, it's going to lead us to what we want. And it made me think about it this morning. Today being Wednesday, which is what we consider and what we call Decision Day Wednesday. And I often say on Wednesdays that it seems like Wednesdays come around a lot more often than some of the other days of the week. It's always one of the toughest days because it always asks you to reflect. It always asks you to reflect on how your week has been going. We know what Wednesday used to be known as, Hump Day Wednesday. Wednesday is one of those days that has its own, saying. Hump Day Wednesday. And what that really meant was it was a day of reflection. It was a day that most people they focused and they reflected on how the first 2 days of their week were going, and they often thought to themselves, man, I hope the rest of the week doesn't continue like this. Or some people, they thought, I hope I can find a way to change the way this week has been going. I hope the next 2 days aren't the same way. See, most people go off of a 5-day week schedule. That used to be the standard. Nowadays, things have changed. Not too long ago, the work week used to just consist of 5 days a week. Most people focused on a Monday through Friday. But then things changed. Things started to go into overtime. More people had to actually work overtime, pick up more days at work if they could, pick up second jobs. So the 5-day work week often turned into overtime and a 6th day or even a 7th day.
which if you work 7 days out of the week, that means, you know, it continuously runs. It never stops. The work week never stops for you. You go from one bell to another bell. But on Wednesdays, for, you know, I used to say for a majority of people, but like I just stated, most people nowadays, they're in an overdrive type of situation. But for that small group of people that still exists, where Wednesday is that hump day, that day of reflection. I thought about it this morning and I said, you don't need any more information. You've been so drowned out with information, some information good, some information bad, and even the good information, you can't recognize that good information and separate it from the bad information. So the 5 words that saved me is this: you already have the answer. Point blank, period. You already have the answer. We often, in online marketing, we attend so many trainings, discussions, and we hear the same thing over and over and over again. And the story never changes. Sometimes the character changes, you know, somebody's name might change. They might use a different character avatar, but the story remains the same. And we hear the story, and a lot of times we already know what the story is going to end up being, how it's going to turn out, but we still clap for it. It's kind of like watching your favorite show. You know, they go from episode to episode, and you know at the end that, you know, the character is still going to be alive. There's going to be, you know, this twist, this plot within the show, and then that character is going to find the answer, and everything's going to be all good. Now, even though you already know that that's how the story goes, you still clap and you still, you know, kind of, you get surprised by some things, and other things you act surprised about. And you give it that little applause. You give it that little reaction, even though you already know what's going to happen. So you're just playing a role. You're going along with the script. You're seeing, you're listening, you're watching. You know your favorite character is going to say something. They're going to say, you know, the same thing that they say in every episode. They're going to, you know, give the same facial expression that they did in the last episode. And now you're just waiting for that point where they actually do it. And then you'll respond. That's how it is in online marketing for the most part. You often get to a point where you've seen this episode over and over and over again, that now it just becomes, you know, entertainment. It becomes a predictable type of entertainment. You know, a little different twist, a little different hook, but the same end result. And once when you know the result, and you know, hey, the hook might change. They might have a different cast of characters. They might add one new character to the scene just to make things a little bit different. At that point, you know the formula, which means that you already know the answer. You know the answer to how this particular show is going to go. So it made me think, instead of giving you another episode, instead of giving you another episode of a show that you already know what's going to be the end result, I said, I'm making a decision today, on Decision Day Wednesday, that I'm not going to teach you another lesson, because you have the lessons that you need. You have the information that you need. You already have the answer. If it wasn't given to you by me, then it was given to you by one of my business partners. But now it's on It's on you to actually make the decision to want to take action on that information. Now, I find that one of the biggest challenges in online marketing isn't a lack of information, it's a lack of willpower, it's a lack of mindset, it's a lack of you actually taking action on what you already know. Talk to people on a daily basis, and I know that they know the answer. Or I feel as though, hey, after all this time, you should already know the answer. Now, I understand some people, it might take a little bit longer to get the answer than others. But there's a lot more people that actually know the answers and they just aren't applying and taking action on those answers than there are people that, they're like, oh, I really don't know. I'm still learning. I'm still learning. I'm still trying to figure it out. Those people, yeah, there's some people like that. Those are the people that, might have just got started that day, just got started, a week or 2 or 3 weeks ago. But it comes to a point where you've been watching a show for, let's say, the first 3 or 4 episodes, and you start to see the pattern, and you start to get familiar with the intro, you start to learn the theme song, you start to learn the patterns and the habits of that main character. And then, it just becomes like something that you're just looking to see how the story is going to change. What's going to actually change about this? And how are they going to adapt to the particular situation? Because you already know the answer. At this point, you already know the answer. You already know, once again, how the story is going to end after watching a few episodes. And that's what I want to get you guys to. I want you guys to get to the level and get to the mindset of actually understanding what it is that you're looking at on a daily basis, the information that you're being fed, and not just watching it as if it was just another episode of your favorite show. And then you're just watching and you're giving your applause, you're clapping. Some people they wait, they hear the build up of the sound, that climatic music, and they know that at the end of that climax, there's going to be a situation, and they're already poised and waiting to clap for something that they know is going to come. They're already poised in advance. Once when it gets to that point, that right there should be a good indicator to you that you already have the answer. So that's the message for today. You already have the answer. I want you to use the answers that you have already and start making a decision to take action on those answers. If you see that your coach and your mentor, they speak a specific way, they provide information in a specific way, then, if that becomes repetitive, then you know that that's part of the answer. If they follow a flow in their presentation and it takes them, you know, let's say 10 minutes to go from one point to another point, and then it takes them 45 minutes in order to actually mention the product or the service, then you already know the answer. You already know what you should be taking action on. But if you're looking at the situation and you're saying to yourself, I'm just going to watch and I'm never going to make the decision to take the action myself, then you're going to find yourself going into another season of the same show. Some shows, they're pretty good. They get pretty entertaining. Some shows, they go on for season after season after season. If they're really good, they might get 3, 4 seasons. If they're really, really good, it might be 10 years down the line that they're running the same play and you're still showing up not because it's something completely new, but maybe it's just because you love the main character. That muscle memory within you have been built up so much that now it's just a habit. You just have to show up to support that main character. That right there is great for watching a TV show. But when it comes to building an online business, that right there is not going to work for your personal success. The difference is when you're watching the show, you have no intentions on creating your own show. Your intentions isn't that you're watching it for the purposes of creating your own character, your own set, your own script, anything like that. Unless you're studying to be a film major, you're studying to be an actor or actress, only unless you're studying to be these things that involve TV shows or whatever it is. But if you're just there to be a spectator, then you might watch for years. When it comes to online marketing, your goal isn't to be a spectator. Your goal is to learn what it is and what it takes to actually create your own show. That's your goal. And if you're not taking action and you're showing up as a spectator year after year after year, and you're not taking action or making a decision to take action on, you know, creating that intro theme song, just like you see in that favorite show, creating the script, just like you've watched time and time again on that favorite show. If you haven't decided to become that lead character, maybe you don't want to imitate the person completely. You don't want to be a what they call it, a doppelganger or whatever. But you want to be able to create your own character that can attract an audience just like that main character that you love to watch. You might want to create your own scripts and your own storyline plots that will captivate an audience for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5, 10 years, like your favorite TV show has captured people for all that time. If it's been running for 10 years, then, obviously they're doing something right. And you, as someone who's trying to create your own, should be duplicating, making your own version of it, and you should be taking action. So hopefully this message is clear. Hopefully, I say this all the time, that helpful information is only helpful to a person that can identify helpful information. Value is what we call it in the online world. When you provide value to someone and they recognize it, you know, the next stage or the next thing that they need to do is take action on the value that you've provided. And that's sometimes one of the biggest rewards. Seeing someone take action on what it is that you've taught them and shown them so that they can get the actual results. Create your own show. I want you to come back to me and say, hey, I heard what you were saying and I decided to take action and I created my own show. You know, I put a little twist on it. I heard, I saw how you do it. I like how you do it. But of course, I have to be me. So I decided to put this little spin on it. And here's the results that I got. And I appreciate you giving me that insight, helping me with that mindset switch. For me, that's very valuable. And for the majority of coaches and mentors, that's something that they all value outside of the financial stuff. Of course, everybody want to get paid for the value that they provide, but there's nothing like hearing that someone took action on something that you taught them and it actually yielded a result. So decide to take action today so that you can start getting the results tomorrow. Because if this day, Wednesday, if this in your mind is still considered a hump day, then I know you're looking for something different. You're looking for a change in how the rest of the week is going to go for you. Tomorrow can be different if you take action today. Even though tomorrow is action taken Thursday, nobody said that you have to wait. Make the decision today and say, hey, I'm going to jump ahead and I'm going to start doing what's necessary today. So with that, I hope you guys have enjoyed today's live. As promised, I said I wasn't going to keep you guys too long because I made a decision that, I want to create. I want to create more content. I'm working on a new music video and, I want to have that available for you within a couple of days. I might have it done sooner, but, once when it's done, it's done. But I'm making a decision to get started and work on it so that it's ready for when I'm ready to present it. So what I want to do is I want to make another decision. I want to close out with, you know, two songs. Seeing as though lately I've been, creating in a specific niche, I would say. I love horror. I love horror style movies and stuff like that and shows. And I've watched enough of them, right? You might have watched a lot of horror movies if that's your particular genre that you like. But I believe I've watched enough of them to kind of understand the format, understand the flow, understand how things go. And, you know, I want to create my own. That's that's the goal. Not just watch it, but actually be a part of it. So I want to play this video, right? Something that I created recently. Guess you could call it a little advertisement. And it's for, the Hustleverse AI UGC blueprint that I'm giving away absolutely for free. So all you have to do if you want to get access to that blueprint is comment UGC and I'll give you access to that blueprint. But I wanted to play this particular video right here. I may use it as a paid ad or just as a regular post. Sometimes when you do something different and you try to break the mold, it takes people a little time to catch up to it. Some people like things so cookie cutter that they'll only respond to generic style content. That's cool. Some people only respond to generic type training. That's cool too. So it's on you to find your exact target audience that will appreciate how different you are and, the spin that you put on the situation. So let's play this short video. And what I mean by short, it's only a minute, 32 seconds, little advert. And then we are going to close out. I was going to say, matter of fact, I'm going to play that, and then I'm going to play one of, wouldn't say my latest videos, but another music video that goes with the theme of that, of a horror style vibe. I got two of them. I'm trying to figure out which one I want to play. Since we're gonna close out with our intro, with our outro as normal with Hustleberry's outro, let me go with the Hustle Bear horror style theme music video that we're gonna play, right? So let's get to the first video, then we're gonna close out. And once again, if you guys are interested in, partnering with me, learning the foundational skills needed to build an online business, all you have to do is access the most valuable document in all of online marketing. Click this link right here that says grab your mega link, which is going to give you access to your foundational tools and get started on the right path so that you can make better decisions in your business. Or you can simply just comment hustle and I'll send you access to, some exclusive stuff that you can get access to and be able to get on your journey as well. So let's get going. Start off with this first video. See you in the next video. Same instruction, 3 AI tools, 3 completely different movie universes. I asked ChatGPT, Meta AI, and Gemini to create one scroll-stopping cinematic image for action lovers, horror fans, and creative content creators. I never told them exactly what scene to make. ChatGPT placed a filmmaker inside an abandoned subway tunnel with a flare in her hand and something waiting inside the smoke. That one image became the foundation for the short horror film I am creating now. Meta AI saw a fearless filmmaker standing on a monster movie set, surrounded by creatures that looked like they escaped from classic horror history. Gemini dropped its character into a destroyed midway, with monsters closing in from every direction. None of the tools ignored the assignment. They simply interpreted the same idea through different visual imaginations. That is the lesson. The tool influences the result, but your creative direction controls the ingredients, your audience, the emotion, the setting, the character, the danger, and what you want the viewer to feel. Most people choose the software first and then stare at an empty prompt box. I build the idea first, then choose the tool that can tell it best. My free Hustleverse Movie Studio AI UGC blueprint shows you how. Tap the link and get the blueprint, plus my complete magnetic content creation training free.
Something ain't right. Hustle bear in the shadows. Watching everything. Something is wrong here. You can feel it in the air. Everybody talk tough to the hustle bear appear. Cold eyes, dark nights built this from despair. Now they panic every time they hear the growl in the lair. Something is wrong here. Yeah, the system too fake. Everybody wearing smiles while they plotting for your place. No sleep, no peace, only hunger and rage. Hustle bear, break chains while the whole world trapped in cages. I was built in the darkness. Pressure made the claws sharp, but everybody switched sides when the money got larger. Yeah, now I move like a phantom. Heavy steps in abandoned buildings, cold heart from survival. Every scar became a million. I don't trust applause. I seen love turn venom, seen kings lose crowns, seen brothers turn jealous. Now it's tunnel vision, eyes locked on a mission. Everybody act alive, but inside they dead living. I hear whispers in the walls, hear fear in they breath. Whole city full of snakes, so I move with the tech. Black hoodie, heavy boots, rain dripping off the fur. Hustle bad, don't talk much, I let the pressure make it hurt. Something is wrong, yeah. I can feel it in the air. Everybody talk tough to the hustle bear appear. Cold eyes, dark nights, built this from despair. Now they panic every time they hear the growl in the lair. Something is wrong here. Yeah, the system too fake. Everybody wearing smiles while they plotting for your place. No sleep, no peace, only hunger and rage. Hustle bear, break chains while the whole world trapped in cages. I came from the bottom where survival was religion. Had to learn real fast, everybody got hidden intentions. Now the lights flash red, sirens echo through the city. Every move calculated, every victory got envy. This ain't rap, this warfare, this pain with percussion. It's the sound of a beast when the pressure keep crushing. Eyes bloodshot, mind racing, paranoia in motion. Still I keep the empire moving through the chaos and corrosion. I don't fear collapse. I was born inside ruins, watch the weak fold quick. I adapted and grew it, now they watch from the sidelines. Wonder how I transform, but the darkest hearts survive every psychological storm. Some watching, some waiting, truth hidden underneath. Everybody acting normal, but the danger running deep. Heartbeat, footsteps, static on the TV. Hustle bear coming, and the whole gang gon' see me. Something is wrong. Yeah, I thrive in the chaos, turn pain into power. Now the darkness couldn't break us. Cold world, no love, only predators survive. Hustle bear still standing while the weak get left behind. Something is wrong here. Yeah, the fear too real. Everybody getting exposed when shadows get revealed. No chains, no gods, only hunger in my veins. Hustle bear, built different. I was forged inside the pain. Yeah, something wrong here. And I became it. Hustle bear.
Woke up to silence, dreams still heavy. Phone screen dry, but my vision stays steady. Mama said, baby, that job ain't your lane. But I clocked in anyway, chasing someone else's gain. That got me dancing with denial at night. Scrolling for hope, but it's hidden from sight. 10 minutes a day, sounded small at first, but in silence even whispers can't quench a thirst. Notebook in hand, wrote my future in ink. Mapped out my mission before I started to sink. Every post was a prayer, every share had weight. I wasn't selling a link, I was shifting fate. I found my rhythm in the quietest place, where hustle meant healing and grind meant grace. From the corner of doubt, I carved my space. Legacy ain't loud, but it wins the race. 10 minutes a day, brick by brick, built from the bottom, now the vision stick. No hype, no cap, just clarity. This ain't just income, it's legacy. Every click, every song I create etches my name where they can't erase. You can doubt, but you gon' see. 10 minutes a day turned into legacy. People laugh, said she doing too much. To my PayPal ping, then they changed up the touch. No big brand, no six-figure crew, just a mic, some lyrics, and a dream that grew. Tired of waiting for the gatekeeper's call, so I built my own stage, held my own hall. Soon like that's the beat in my chest. GPT spin like I'm born to impress. Said I'd never make it, cool, noted. But now my bars turn pain into coated. From broken to branded, I ain't asked for fame, I asked for freedom and I claim my name now. Hustle berry on loop like healing chance. For the girls who grew up with limited chance. This is more than a challenge, it's breaking the chain. Cause 10 minutes a day rewired my brain. 10 minutes a day, brick by brick, built from the bottom, now the vision stick. No hype, no cap, just clarity. This ain't just income, it's legacy. Every click, every song I create etches my name where they can't erase. You can doubt, but you gon' see. 10 minutes a day turned into legacy. Now my daughter sees me different, eyes full of fire. She said, Ma, your words lift me higher. This ain't a hustle, this a heart-led path, where math meets message and message meets math. Community over clicks, value over hype. I ain't here to trend, I'm here to type blueprints for the ones still stuck in fear. Let them borrow my belief till their purpose clear. Haters still quiet, but I'm loud with grace. Posting in peace, not a mask on my face. Every bar I drop, every beat I write, I'm free in